All right, YouTube's good now. YouTube's good now. I had the little button clicked. My bad. Y'all can hear me now on YouTube. Let's get it. All right, Money Monday. Let's go. Okay, this is where we're at with it, man. NBA, we're just gonna go down the list. I'm gonna tell you who I like. Somebody said Nuggets -8.5. I don't really like the Nuggets tonight. Not saying the Jazz stand a chance to beat them. I don't really believe in alt lines and stuff. I mean, if you want to tease it down, go for it. The Nuggets should win. 8.5 feels good to me. I think that's kind of where the Nuggets win at. I think they win around 8 points, 9 points, maybe 10. If you can get that 11.5 on the Jazz, I don't hate it. Jazz have sense of ball going tonight. They've got Ace Bailey, Isaiah Collier, Keontae George. Keontae George got 17 minutes last game, looked better, looked good. I would think he would get around 20 to 21 minutes tonight. We'll see how that goes. I think that the guards match up really well against the guards out there in Denver. Denver coming off a back-to-back. I'm going to take the points in my pocket on that game, plus 11.5. There's no games that I absolutely love on the NBA slate as far as just laying points go. Starting with the Rockets, I think we can go there. Rockets, if you watch my YouTube video, guys, I lay it out in a little bit more detail on the whys. I go this reason on these sides. Rockets, I'm going to fade the Rockets tonight. I'm going to take the Wizards plus 16. I'd rather have those points in my pocket. With that inconsistent Rockets offense, I think that's a lot to ask for them to win by 20. I've seen the Wizards play some pretty good ball as of late, and they're still in tank mode. But these younger guys are still auditioning, man. So the Carlton Carringtons of the world, the Bilal Coulibaly's, the Trey Johnsons, they're still auditioning. They still have to learn how to play at the NBA at a high level. So they're trying to keep these games competitive. But end of the day, their draft pick is protected. They need to be a top 5 lottery pick, or the Knicks will get that. So they need to be like pretty much dead last. They need to be one of the worst teams in the league. So I like the Wizards here in this spot. Not as a money line play, but if you want to bet them, I like them with the plus 15.5. And that's kind of where I stand on it. I think they'll keep this game fairly competitive. I see them losing between 9 to 13 points, and I think that 15 comes in handy. So that's where I'm at on that one. Moving into Clippers Warriors. This line opened up in favor of the Warriors and flipped to the flip. It's kind of bounced around. From what I've seen, it looks like the Clippers really should be laying -3. I think the edge here is the Clippers, man. I don't know what it's going to be like tonight if Darius Garland does debut, how that impacts this Clippers team. But I've liked them with Chris Dunn at the point, man. I think Chris Dunn has done a hell of a job since Harden is left running the point guard spot. He's brought some athleticism defensively out there at the point guard spot defensively. I like all of that a lot, man. I really like the Clippers in this spot tonight. Give me -1.5 in a pick'em game. Who's better? You know, the Warriors or the Clippers? Clippers have the best player, top 5 player probably in the NBA when he's healthy. The last 2 seasons, Kawhi Leonard has looked very, very good as of late. Look what he did at the All-Star game. Look what he's done coming out of the All-Star break. And even before, he started playing some really good ball there in January. So I like Kawhi Leonard tonight. I like this team. Derek Lively, Chris Dunn, Mathurin has looked fantastic for him, scoring around 20 points a game, other than the last game where he only had like 9 points in the outing. So, but that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. I like the Clippers tonight. Give me them on the money line. Give me laying -1.5, 2, wherever it shakes out. Once it gets to -3, I'd be careful. But I still don't think that the Warriors have the offensive power unless Podemski goes and does some shit like he did a week or 2 ago against the Nuggets, where he goes ballistic in the 4th quarter and drops 13 points. That's the only way I see these Warriors contending with the Clippers tonight. And that's if they get a guy, the Santos cat or Podemski, to have a big game. I just don't see that happening. Give me the Clippers -1.5. Probably my favorite NBA play of the day as far as that goes. Then we move on to the last game that I want to talk about. And I'll give you guys 6 player props. And you guys do what you want with the player props, all right? 6 player props, do what you want. Somebody said, what? How much is NBA pack today? Use the code word money. Go to the link on my story. Use code word money. It's a pretty good price. Guys, I like Boston tonight. Boston's look good. -7.5. I don't love laying it. But Giannis, whether he's back or not tonight, he's not getting more than 20 minutes. He's just not. Yeah, he'll make a difference, but Jaylen Brown's going to play 30 minutes. I don't believe, from what I've seen, I don't think Keta's playing tonight, but he might. But even then, Vucevic has looked pretty good. He surprised me the last couple games on how well he's rebounded, because he wasn't rebounding the ball that well out there in Chicago. So I like the Boston Celtics tonight, -7.5. I always say this: what's the likelihood of laying the points versus taking the points? If you truly believe that the Bucks are going to keep this competitive, with Giannis on the floor, then yeah, you could convince me +7.5. But I think the best player on the floor is Jaylen Brown. Giannis, when he's healthy, would be the best player tonight. And if you were giving me a healthy Giannis Bucks +7.5, I'd be all over it. And I've said it over and over again. And I said it in my YouTube video. I think the Bucks are 7-3 over their last 10 games as dogs on the money line. They've beat Miami. The list goes on. They have shown up and they've upset teams. So this is a spot here where you could say the Bucks coming off of an ass whooping with the Knicks in a bounce back spot. They're on an extra day of rest, I believe. I don't believe they might be on a back-to-back, actually. I need to look at that one. I think they are on a back-to-back. They did play last night. I just can't remember who the fuck they played yesterday. They are on a back-to-back. But I like the Celtics, man. I think this is a get right spot for these guys. They're going to continue to roll, and they're going to show the league why, they're probably one of the better teams in the East right now, since they kind of got rolling last month. I mean, they've looked really good over the last probably, I would say, 4 to 5 weeks. Jaylen Brown looks like an MVP candidate, and I'll lay the points -7, -7.5. I'm not scared of it. So he's sick. Jaylen Brown's still sick, huh? Did they rule him out? Because, I mean, if Jaylen Brown, somebody just dropped that in the comments. Now, from what I see here, when I was clicking on injury reports and all that, I don't see where Jaylen Brown is ruled out tonight yet. But, yeah, I see where Giannis is still questionable. But, yeah, I mean, if Jaylen Brown was to miss, that would change my opinion on it, because I've kind of been high speaking on the Bucks. We've made some money on the Bucks over the last few weeks. We were on them just the other night when they won against Miami. So my take on all this is, if Jaylen Brown doesn't play, you got to go Bucks. But right now, with Jaylen Brown, there's just nobody. Ryan Rollins, Bobby Portis, Kevin Porter Jr., they can't hold Jaylen Brown. And the way Derek White's played over the last 3 games, I really like him tonight. I think he's going to come out and still shoot the ball well. He shot the ball really, really well the last 3 games. And if he's in a sharp shooting streak that he gets on, that really elevates Boston. When Derek White is shooting the ball well, it is hard to beat the Boston Celtics. -2 now. Okay, spreads at -2. That must mean let's go ahead and take a look at that. That must mean Jaylen Brown is out tonight. Celtics injury report. See, it's the one thing I hate about the NBA, man. They wait. Look, I jump on a live, and it looks like he's out. Keta's out. Jaylen Brown's out. Yeah. So with that said, man, I would almost have to lean back towards the Bucks now, -2. And yeah, we'll miss Monday's game against the Bucks, according to Mark Stein, with an illness. And then Keta was already out. That really didn't turn me away, because like I said, I thought Vucevic was playing well. Yeah, guys, I'd probably lean back. If Keta's out in the way, he's been rebounding the ball. Keta played great the other night rebounding it. And I would lean back probably Bucks now. I'm probably going to get burned. I did put a small parlay in, nothing crazy, where I had the Celtics. So see what the cash out option on that one is. But I don't know, guys. -2 probably is where I'd go now, or +2 to the Bucks, especially if Giannis plays now. Yeah, I mean, it still feels trappy, right? Like, Vegas got us. If you took them early like I did, they got you with the Jaylen Brown thing. Thing is, this Celtics team is still really talented, man. Like, I don't want to spend too much time on it, because I think you're better off betting the Clippers tonight, in my opinion, over this game. But look, this Bailey Schumerman, or however the fuck I say his name, he's been playing really well for these guys. Sam Hauser's been shooting it pretty well. Like I said, the case in point is this: if Derek White can come out tonight and shoot the ball really well, if Derek White can come out here and shoot like he has the last couple games, they may keep this competitive, the Celtics, and they could even win this. Because it looks like what I'm seeing now is Giannis isn't playing either. From what I'm reading here, it looks like Giannis is going to be out tonight as well. So then you got Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and this Bailey Shimmerman guy. Nah, man, I like Kevin Porter, Ryan Rollins, and AJ Green to get it done tonight against these boys. I think the athleticism and Cam Thomas, that addition of him is going to help out. Yeah, give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks. I'll take the points on it now, guys. Appreciate the chat making me aware Jaylen Brown got ruled out. But that's kind of it. We talked through that play. That's where I would go for the Bucks now. I would go Bucks money line even plus 116. Yeah, I don't think Giannis ends up playing tonight. And if he does, it's only going to be a couple minutes to see how he goes. But yeah, that's where I'm at on that, guys. So with that said, here we go. 6 player props. Do what you want with him. Parlay him. Go that way. This is where we're at with it. I like Kaishan George for 11.5 points. Feels short. That line feels short. He's fully capable of getting 15 to 17. I like Kaishan George over 11.5 points. It was plus money when I took it. I still think that's a short line. That guy can play ball. He's going to shoot a couple threes. All it takes is 1 or 2 of those to fall, and he's also going to get to the line. So booking a one-way Official Glow. Guys, check out Official Glow's stuff, man. He's got some good hoodies, some good shirts. I need to order one. I saw one that I like. I need to order one. All right, Official Glow. Appreciate you, brother. Let's book the one-way. Bobby Portis, over 9.5 points. You're telling me Bobby Portis isn't going to knock down 2 of those corner threes he's known for? Give me Bobby Portis for 10 points tonight. Another short line. He's capable of getting you 15. They're playing him and not giving him his respect at 9.5. And that line's probably even moved up if Giannis has been ruled out. So go ahead and give me Bobby Portis 9.5. I already said I like the Jazz because I think the guards can compete with the guards over there on Denver. So I like Ace Bailey on his PRA tonight. I think Ace Bailey's fully capable of getting 21.5 on PRA. Ace Bailey's completely capable of getting you 15 to 17, getting you a handful of rebounds and a handful of assists. I think he shakes out somewhere around 3 rebounds, 4 assists, vice versa, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 17 points. He'll clear that 21.5. I see him getting around 23 to 24 PRA tonight. Give me that Ace Bailey 21.5 over PRA. Then to wrap it up, probably my favorite play on overs is Chris Dunn, over 3.5 assists. Chris Dunn, I get it. The reason this line is low is because they're expecting Darius Garland to play. I believe that Darius Garland will be in the same spot, similar spot as Giannis. He's not going to play a ton of minutes. So I still like Chris Dunn to get his assist tonight. Give me Chris Dunn minus 156 for over 3.5 assists. I like that play a lot, man. And that's where we're going to go with that, man. 2 unders. You guys want 2 unders? They're both alt lines. You go ahead and you take the Bucks and the Celtics under 225, and you take the Wizards and the Rockets under 230. Put those together as a 2-leg. It's plus money on the unders. I see both of those games not being a shootout, but being more of a battle, a grinded out game. I think both of those games end around the lower 100s, maybe 105 to 110. 106 to 111 in that type of range where they both go over under the 220 mark, but you want to alt that up on the alt points just a little bit. So that's where I'm at, guys. And Jokic, last one. Jokic was at 53 PRA earlier. I saw his lines already dropped down to 51.5. That feels like too much. If they are going to indeed beat the living piss out the Jazz tonight, which I don't think so. I think it stays competitive. So maybe he does get that line. But even then, 53.5, 52, wherever it's at right now, it's going to be in the 50s. That's too much for Jokic tonight. I don't think he has a big triple-double. If he does have a triple-double, it's probably going to be 25, 10, and 10. That puts him at 45. He's going to need a big assist and rebound night or a big 35-point game in order to hit that 50 number. I just don't think that's coming tonight, guys. So I like the under on the Jokic a lot for PRA. So does smell like a Jokic night off, doesn't it? I like that PRA a lot, guys. If you wanted to take that play by itself on the under, Jokic under 51.5 PRA, I was able to grab it at 52.5. If you like that a lot, I would go ahead and grab it. All right, let's keep it moving. College basketball slate now. College basketball slate. Cheers. Drop some comments. What do you got? Who do you like? So look, guys. Somebody said Duke should kill you in NC State. I don't necessarily believe it. Look, I'm gonna lock Duke tonight. Not -10. Duke, Cameron Boozer, the guard play out there has looked phenomenal. They have just been rolling on everybody. There's only been one game they haven't won by double digits in the last month. and that was against Michigan, and they still beat Michigan by 6. So I can't go against Duke when they're playing this well and how well prepared they are. So look, y'all know I'm a big Will Wade believer. Big Will Wade believer. I believe in NC State. I have went to that well over and over and over again all year long. They just showed us this past weekend against UVA. They're just not ready to be that team. You know what I mean? I think that you guys, a lot of us were on a lot of us were on NC State this week against UVA, and they let us down. Now you say, oh, this is a bounce back spot. This is a spot play back at home in Raleigh. You know, they're going to get right. They need this game, and they do. If they want any chance at the tournament, they must win this on the money line. Spread doesn't matter. But I don't agree. I think their season's over. I think the game they needed to win was 2 weeks ago, and they didn't. And I think that they continue to look bad. And I love Will Wade as a coach, but his McNeese energy didn't translate this year. They've lost some games they shouldn't have lost. They lost to Notre Dame. They lost to UVA. UVA, we expected that, right? Then they go and upset UNC, right? They upset UNC, and they barely lose to Miami, but they blew that. They should have won that game. And then they get blown out by Louisville. This team's all over the place, and you can't be an all over the place team against Duke. They will eat you alive. Give me Duke minus 10. They go in there. They steamroll them tonight. They win by 16. Yeah, I don't always agree with looking at games like that, right? Like you could, especially like the NFL, right? Oh, this team beat this team and this team lost to this team, or this team vice versa, right? Because it doesn't really apply. You know, the reason I like the Jazz getting plus 12 tonight is because I think those guards match up well against the Denver guards. I think matchup is a real thing. NC State does have really good defense. They do play ball fairly physical. They can match the physicality of Duke. I think that there are some things in that matchup where I can agree with why you would want to take the 10 points in your pocket. But I just can't get past how well Duke has been shooting the 3 ball and how great Cameron Boozer has looked. Not only has Cameron Boozer been scoring the ball, he's been getting rebounds and assists, opening it up, kicking the ball out for the open threes. I just think tonight it's going to be too much for NC State to handle, and they're going to get a big fucking dose of Duke basketball, who to me is looking like the clear favorite to win it all at this point. And look, head coach John Shire's kind of due for one. It's been a couple years since Duke's got one. I know he got him there last year with Cooper Flagg, but man, I kind of like this team a little bit more. They seem like there's more cohesion. But yeah, that's where I'm at, man. Duke minus 10. We won't spend a ton of time on that. Here we go. A couple college leans. Iowa State. Iowa State. That's where I'm going tonight. Yes, exactly. It doesn't apply. UNC beat Duke. NC State beat UNC. And that's the thing. It doesn't apply. Who beats who doesn't matter. There's nights where teams get hot and shoot 60% from the floor, and that's what it takes to beat a team. Look, UNC barely snuck by Louisville, but UNC had a career night from Trimble, and they got hot as hell in the second half and shot 57% from the floor. And Louisville still almost came back and beat them because Mikel Brown and Boswell ended up shooting the ball, getting hot late. So I think that, and look, Louisville demolished NC State. I don't think that really applies because each game is different. Shooting percentages are different. I think you got to look at what happens consistently. Which team is more physical? What team shoots the ball better consistently? All of these things, offense-wise, star players do matter. Cameron Boozer does matter. They don't have anybody to the caliber of Cameron Boozer on NC State. And now we go into the Arizona game here. Iowa State. Iowa State has nobody to the level of a Koa P. You know, they don't have any of that. They really don't. And that Arizona team looked really good this past weekend. I didn't think they would handle the way they did this past weekend. They just went and they whooped up, just absolutely destroyed Houston. And Houston's been trash lately. BYU's been trash. So you really can't talk about their last couple wins because they haven't played teams that are peak. And I know Iowa State hasn't been great either because they just lost 2 games. But I like the plus 7.5 Iowa State. I think Iowa State has a chance to win this thing outright on the money line. Last year, was it Caleb Love drilled that half court shot to send it into overtime where they beat Iowa State when Iowa State was ranked earlier in the season. Yeah, Koa P or Noah P. He's back tonight. I think it's Koa. But I wanted to look at this stat here. Look, the last game Arizona lost was to Texas Tech, and they lost to Kansas right before it. But then they beat a BYU team and a Houston team that have both been struggling the last couple of weeks. And they rolled on Kansas this past weekend. And they beat the hell out of, well, they didn't beat the hell out of Baylor, but they beat Baylor. So last couple games, they've played some tough opponents. I like Iowa State plus 7.5. I don't see why I would doubt it. What makes me think that Arizona is going to beat them? Arizona has been shooting the ball well lately. I mean, I tuned into that Kansas game, and I was surprised at how well they shot the ball. And I also was surprised when I watched the Houston game, how easily they beat them, even without Kopi. So tonight, I'm going to have to go back to the well with Iowa State because I think Iowa State's size and physicality and ability to slow the game down may kind of bother Arizona. And I also lean on the side. I like the under on that game. I like under 148. I think if this game finishes in the 60s, 65, 62, 68, 64, and that's why I like the 7.5 in my pocket. Give me Iowa State plus 7.5. Guys, if you've been on my ladder play, if you've seen what we're laddering today, it is that play. I like Iowa State a lot here. I think that they can win this thing on the money line. They've got some really good players on that team, and they've been really efficient this year shooting the ball. So that's something that I think Arizona has struggled with. And I think that this team, they're older. They have more juniors and seniors. Some of the best players on Arizona are freshmen. They got a freshman guard. Kopi's a freshman. They're elite. Those are two of the best players in the country. There's two of the best players in the country. But this feels like a game where Iowa State's going to want to ugly it up. They're going to want to slow it down. They're going to rely on their field goal efficiency, which they've been great at all year, scoring the ball. And if they can't get it in the paint, they get it out and they get an open shooter and they knock it down because they've been shooting the ball well. But it feels like a game where the under is in play, and neither of these teams absolutely love pushing the pace. Arizona will if you turn the ball over, but Iowa State doesn't turn the ball over a lot. So give me Iowa State plus 7.5. And I like the under minus 148. So that's where I'm at on that, guys. You can always alt line those up as well and play them together. It's like, I don't know, under 150 and plus 9.5. Yeah. But that's where I'm at, guys. Let's keep it moving on to three more games, and then we'll get out of here. And then we'll wrap up with final thoughts. So, guys, Horizon League tournament kicks off tonight. You've got Uwe Pui, Indianapolis University. I just call them Uwe Pui versus Cleveland State. I like Cleveland State tonight in this spot. Feels like a smash spot for Cleveland State. I don't like the way that Indianapolis team plays the press. They overpress every team, and it either works. It's a gimmicky defense. It either works or they get beat and the score gets ran up on them. I think in this spot here tonight, that's exactly what happens. Cleveland State comes out, who's not really been good this year either. It's an 11 seed versus a 10 seed. And hopefully you guys can hear me. I had to ignore a call. So, yeah, look, 150 because everybody's pouring in on it. Everybody's pouring in on it on the closing line. So, well, shit, why would it move up to 110 actually? That's odd. Yeah, minus 150 is a discount at minus 110. So, yeah, take that one. Horizon League. Back to Horizon League. We're off. I gave you my opinions on all the games before. We're done with that. I'm not going to spend too much time repeating myself. If you guys want to check out my NBA stuff, it is on my YouTube channel. Just subscribe there. Like the content. Oakland and Green Bay, right? Two future plays out of the Horizon League. I will give out every time I do a live, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I will give you a future play out of the conference tournaments. I like Oakland at plus 440. And I like Green Bay at plus 1,000. I'm not going to go with the favorites, Robert Morris out of the Horizon League, but I do like Oakland. They come in winning the most games. They've probably got the most pressure on them, but Green Bay as well. Yeah, I like the way they've played all year. They actually have impressed me this year. We've actually made some money on them. I could see them getting a couple upsets, and the way their structure inside the seating, I could see them sneaking a win in this next round. Obviously, they got to get out this first one. But if they get it out this first game, I could see them getting an upset. against a team like Robert Morris or even Oakland if they draw them. So let's see where it falls and shakes out. But that's where I'm at on the 2 Horizon plays. Cleveland State today in Horizon versus Indianapolis. So Cleveland State on the money line. Last 2 plays, guys. I'm going to give you one getting points. I'm going to get you one laying points. So we already said that I like Duke -10. Already said I like Iowa +7. Well, I really like Nichols tonight in a spot against McNeese. I know last time they played McNeese and McNeese dogged the shit out of them. But McNeese has nothing to play for. They've already locked up everything that they need to lock up. Why chance hurting star players against a team in Nichols tonight? I think that +10.5 in this spot, Vegas isn't understanding that. McNeese has nothing to play for. Nichols is getting 10.5. I think they keep this thing fairly competitive. I like Nichols a lot at +10.5. And then I also like Eastern Washington, right? We just lost to Eastern Washington opening day of the ladder challenge, I believe. I think we had Northern Colorado take on Eastern Washington, if I can remember. And we lost to them first day. And Northern Colorado is the better team. But what I didn't realize was how hot Eastern Washington has been recently. That kind of propelled them on their next couple games. The Northern Colorado loss was in the middle of a win streak. Now here we are a week later, and I'm like, wow, this Eastern Washington team is hot. They've won 4 in a row. They're going in tonight, and I think that they win again. And I think that they have no problem handling the night and getting the W. So give me Eastern Washington laying the points -3, and then give me Nichols +10. And then if you want one more kicker, you could take that under, like I said, on the Iowa and Arizona game at 150. Somebody said it's at 150 now, so that's even better. So take that, guys. All right, man. What do y'all got? Questions, concerns? You going NC State? Good luck. We're going with Duke. You going Arizona? We're going with Iowa State. That's kind of where I'm at tonight with my 2 big plays. And then as far as some smaller plays, I like Eastern Washington -3. And I like Nichols +10. SF Austin has been a covering machine all year. You got to say they covered tonight at -7. YRCT, what is that? Hey, yeah, Griff. That's a good question. Why is the Lakers line so close, or Clippers line so close? I was watching something earlier, and somebody said, I didn't see this, but somebody said the line flipped, that it opened up in favor of the Golden State Warriors. I didn't see it open up at that. I saw it open up at -3 Clippers and move down to -1 this morning, -1.5. So when I woke up this morning, I actually said, I'm taking the Clippers. It's a no-brainer for me. They have Kawhi Leonard. Who to the level on that team is Kawhi Leonard? Who? End of the day, basketball is one of the few sports where one player can change the whole dynamic of a game. And there's not a player on the Warriors that have that. It's not Podemski. It's nobody. So, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe Curry was supposed to return tonight. But, they're still without what? Porzingis isn't playing. That's a rebounder of the basketball. Al Horford's older. He only can do so many minutes per game. The X factor for me is that Santos guy and the Podemski guy. And I don't think either of those guys are going to stack up against the athleticism of the Clippers. So this, for me, isn't a spot play. This is a data-driven matchup play. If you look at the stats behind the Clippers, and I know the only statistic that the Warriors are outperforming the Clippers on right now is points offensive efficiency per game. I don't think that they have the ability to perform this athletic defense of the Clippers consistently over 4 quarters. I think that the 4 quarters, you're going to have the athletes show up like they did against the Timberwolves, like they did against the Lakers. And I get it. They have the home court advantage at Oracle Arena or whatever it's fucking called these days. It's loud in there. Those fans are always lively and rowdy. But I'm not scared to lay the points, and I'm not scared to play the money line. I think that the Clippers line is wrong, and I don't know what's driving Vegas to have it so low. It feels short. It Feels like the Clippers should be laying more points. It feels like it should be -3, -3.5. And, I don't see anything with Kawhi Leonard tonight, not missing time. And even if Kawhi missed tonight, I still think Mathurin in that offense that Mathurin is good enough on offense to lead them. And I think that athletically, that defense is good enough to still beat the second string Warriors. So that's my take on that one. I can give you a clear answer on why the line is short, but it is. The line is short. There's no reason it should be a pick 'em game. The Warriors, now, if the Warriors are getting +4.5 at home, maybe I'd lean that way. But once again, I think the Clippers come in there and they play really well tonight, and they win by 6-7 points. They just got to play with that same energy. The problem with the Clippers is when they're on the road and they play some teams that are lesser, sometimes they take a step back, and maybe that's the read. The Clippers are actually 7-3 against the spread against the Warriors over the last 10 games. So their last 10 matchups, the Warriors have a winning, not Warriors, the Clippers have a winning record against the Warriors. And you'd have to assume that most of those games had Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. But there we go, guys. That's where I'm at on the Clippers. So I couldn't tell you why the line's so short. You can't always overlook it. Sometimes it is. It smells, and we get got. Look, Aston Villa just the other day. What was it on Tuesday? Not on Tuesday. So on Saturday morning, I think it was Aston Villa. It felt like it was an easy read, right? -120, but that line just stunk, and the Wolves beat the hell out of them, sitting third in the table. This kind of feels similar, right? Just feels like, why? It's obvious. It's the Clippers. And it is. It's the Clippers. Don't overthink it. Oh, man, that's too many points. What's the line at right now? +19.5? And they're playing Coppin State, right? Is that who they're playing? I didn't bet that game, guys. The Howard University game. I didn't bet it. Let me go ahead and pull it up. I think it's 19.5. Yeah, Coppin State, 19.5. I was right. Starts at 7. I just think that's too many points for Howard to lay. Coppin State's battle tested. If you look at who they've played this year, they started their season outside the conference just getting drilled by major D1 all year long. I think this Coppin State team understands how to play ball, especially at the mid-major level. They still suck. They're not a great team. Howard actually has been impressive lately. They've won some good games, and they've actually put up some points. But I think 19.5, and I think this is a reaction to that. I think Vegas is seeing Howard win these games and put up a lot of points, and I think it's more of a reaction to that. So +19.5 feels a little steep. I think Howard wins this by 12. 19, 20, I don't think so. That's my take on it. So, and that's kind of one of the reasons I got off that game. That's why I handicapped it, had my thought process, but I don't want any parts of it because Howard does have blowout potential. They could win by 25, but I lean towards the side of Coppin State, keeping this thing within, 8 to 14 points. So top 5 CBB today. I just reviewed CBB, but I'll give you a couple more. I'm going with Duke -10. I think they roll on NC State. You got John Shire, you got Cameron Boozer. John Shire's a great coach. Cameron Boozer, one of the best players in basketball. He's averaging over 24 PRA right now, getting a lot of points, 15, 16 points a game, 6 to 7 rebounds, 4 to 5 assists a game. He's playing at a really, really high clip right now. So I got to go with Duke. I'm not scared of it. I know that NC State likes to play physical, and they're going to match the physicality tonight. But I just think the three-point shooting that Duke has been shooting at over the last couple of weeks continues to be there because they're going to continue to drop in on Boozer. And if not, Boozer's going to make them pay. So give me Duke to win by 14, maybe even 16 tonight. But I think they win somewhere between 14 to 16 points. Give me Duke to roll on NC State. And then I told you guys I like Nichols +10. I like Eastern Washington -3. And then I do like the under 148, 150, wherever you get it at on Arizona, Iowa State. I think that's a great play. If you wanted to play that straight, you could play the under 150 straight Arizona, Iowa State. But I really, really do like Iowa State +7.5 tonight. I think Iowa State is in a spot where they need to bounce back. They need to compete. They're heading into tournament time. It's March Madness. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line, guys. Put a little bit on Iowa State tonight. I think it's a +260. And if you wanted to take Nichols tonight as well as a dog, I think it's +460. Both of those guys could upset tonight on the money line. McNeese has no reason to play tonight. They're probably going to rest some starters. And then you've got Iowa State, who needs to step up tonight. And this is a big test going into Arizona, where they lost in overtime last year. So, and this team's older and better. This Iowa team is older and better now. So give me Iowa State plus 7.5. I'm going with the Cyclones tonight on that one. And those are my plays right there. Somebody said, who did I like on another play? Rio Grande. I don't remember that one. I don't think I handicapped it. Rio Grande's been winning some games lately from what I've been watching. I liked him earlier in the year, and they burnt me a lot. I like that Sacramento State game to finish the night. That line moved a lot. That line started out -2.5. It's at -4.5 now. Money flowed into Sac State. Northwest State has been sneaky all year. I don't know enough about them. I just know Northwest has played decent ball. But Rio Grande's been really hot as of late. I would have to lay the 10 with Rio before anything else. But that Northwest State, they've been sneaky at times. They've competed in some games, but I don't think they've competed in games against teams as good as Rio Grande. I think Rio Grande rolls, and they should win by double digits. But that's my take. I didn't put any money on it, so that's just an opinion play. I do got money on Iowa, Duke, Nichols, SF Austin. So, guys, that's where I'm at on that. It is Money Monday. Closing thoughts. Here we go. Duke rolls, NC State -10. Iowa State in a must-win situation going in the tournament. I think they upset Arizona on the money line, but I'll take the points, and I'll put my biggest wager as far as the spread going with those guys tonight, plus 7.5 in Duke -10. I really like the big plays tonight. I also like Eastern Washington a lot tonight, -3. I think Eastern Washington is one of the hottest mid-majors right now. They're going to go into their conference tournament here in a couple of days, and they are going to roll. So Eastern Washington seems like they're on fire. I think that feels like a smash play as well, right along with Duke and Eastern Washington. And then lastly, Northern Colorado. I know they let a few of us down last week. We were on them, but Northern Colorado has been great all year. I believe they're going to be great again here tonight. They cover the -6. Give me Northern Colorado on the spread as well. NBA, favorite play of the night. I think you're overthinking it. If you think the Warriors have the same amount of talent as the Clippers, they don't. Clippers are not as good on the road, but give me the Clippers, -1.5. They're going to roll. Kawhi's going to roll. The only way they don't is if Kawhi rests, gets hurt, anything like that. But the Clippers is the best play on the board tonight for the NBA. And then after that, now that Jaylen Brown is out, I would have to lean back towards the Bucks on the money line, even though Derek White has been shooting the ball great. My favorite play on the board tonight for NBA would be the Clippers. 4 favorite player props: Keyshawn George over 11.5 points. Keyshawn George over 11.5 points. I think that is way undervalued. I think he's a 15-point-a-game player, and they have him at 11.5 on a team that's already shorthanded. I know he's been questionable the last couple games. He's missed a couple. He just did play the other day, and he played pretty well. So give me Keyshawn George to get more minutes tonight and get more than 11.5 points. Bobby Portis, they're also short on his line. It was at 9.5 when I bet it earlier. I don't know if that's went up now that Giannis is going to be ruled out, or if they've even ruled him out yet. Ace Bailey, over 21 PRA. He should easily get that. He should average around 24 to 25 tonight. He's going to get you 16 points. He's going to get you about 4 assists and 3 to 4 rebounds. That'll put you right in that wheelhouse over the 21.5 PRA. And then lastly, the best plays on the board for player props, the 2 best plays: Chris Dunn, 4 assists. Jokic, under 52 PRA. Jokic isn't going for 52 PRA tonight, and Chris Dunn is going to get you 4 assists. Best 2 player props on the board tonight. All right, that's it, guys. That's March Madness. It's time to get it, time to go. It is 6 o'clock. I got to drop my NBA plays. I've got them ready. Just got to load them up. I appreciate you guys. Go to the story, grab a pass. It's Money Monday. Use the code MONEY. And if you guys want a free 3 days of VIP, all you have to do is sign up with my Kalshi link. If you don't have a Kalshi account, go to Kalshi, deposit 10, play one of my free plays, send me the Kalshi slip in my DM. You get 3 days VIP for free. That's it. Simple as that, guys. Look, I built a Kalshi bot for $20,000 or just shy of it. And it gives me every top wallet transaction from politics to sports to awards. You know, we knew that Lady Gaga was going to be the halftime performer with Bad Bunny because of how the line moved. It went from being 27% in the morning to right before kickoff, it was at 80%. The amount of money that flowed in, somebody knew something, and the money just flowed in and the odds went up. That's what we built that for, is so we can know when to attack certain things that we don't watch, that I don't watch. I don't give a shit about that type of political stuff. But you know, there was a big bet going on. And I didn't put it out because I don't believe in all of it. And maybe I pride aside need to do that. But there was a lot of politics stuff going on this week that the alert was going off. And look what happened with the fucking bombings. It's crazy. So that's what Kalshi allows you to do. Bet on shit like that as well. But guys, you want 3 free days of VIP? Go to the link, sign up, send me your bet slip, and then I'll get you in. That's really it. All right, book the one way. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all. Take it easy.